Beata Bukowski here, coming to you with our weekly economic update for the week of May 17th. The housing news once again stole the show all of last week. In existing home sales, we were down 2.7% from March to April, and obviously the underlying theme, as stated before, is the super low inventories. We are down to 2.4 months nationwide, and there are markets that are even under 1 month supply. An average marketing time right now in all of the country is 17 days. That doesn't, though, say the whole picture, because existing home sales are still up 19% comparing to April of 2019, and a whopping 33% comparing to April 2020, but that's when the entire country obviously was closed. Median home prices have also made news, as they have increased to $341,600. Remember, median price means that 50% of homes sold over this number and 50% sold under this number. What is important, however, in this part of the news is that there were less homes sold under that median price, whereas homes between 750 and 1 million have increased 146%, and homes above 1 million increased 212%. First-time home buyers dropped from 32 to 31%. This is important news. First-time home buyers, or every third buyer, is a first-time home buyer. That's why we are still looking at expanding our down payment assistance and all of the first-time home buyers benefits that we can to attract more buyers into the market, because interest rates, being as low as they are still keeping affordability pretty nicely tamed. Good news also is that cash buyer have increased from 23 to 25%. So every fourth buyer out there is buying for cash. In other housing news, the National Association of Home Builders has stated that their index of optimism is still at 83%, which is very high. Home builders, however, are starting to build homes, and we were really hoping that within a short period of time, we're going to have more homes coming into the market and helping this inventory. Unfortunately, because of all the lumber prices going higher, the builders are pouring concrete but not really building homes up, waiting to see what happens with lumber. Home permits have increased, so there is still builders wanting to start building, and they're actually head of the National Association of Home Builders has stated that unfortunately the only thing they will have to do is keep pushing prices higher, as obviously prices of the vendors and of all supplies will keep increasing. As I mentioned last week, it's important to remember that our economy, even though our housing market is really just purely belonging to our economy is somewhat correlated with global economies. So we have to look at other countries, and that probably is why mortgage interest rates remain this low, even though inflationary pressures as well as prices keep going higher. In the last news of last week, the Fed Open Committee meeting has taken place, and the Fed said that they're watching very closely the inflationary pressures and the GDP numbers, because if it continues its pace as so far, there's going to be a retraction on the Fed's buying mortgage-backed securities and incentivizing the markets. This is Beata Bukowski at Fairway Independent Mortgage. Thanks for tuning in to our weekly economic update summarizing the week of May 17th.